All right, everyone. So Goldberg went on Busted Open Radio to talk about a final match and who he would like it to be against, and he also discussed a little bit about Sting. So here's the.
Phil, one last match?
Oh man, I'd love to, dude. 100%. But, I have to get my torn rotator cuff taken care of finally because I'll come out and say it. When I came back with Brock, and nobody ever knew this. When I came back with Brock that first night in Denver, I blew my rotator cuff completely. And I never told anybody about it. And I kept working through it. And, because you have these sparing, you work sparingly once, twice a year, right? So I can crescendo and I can get as strong as I can. I ain't doing shit till I get that done. And that's hopefully coming up. I'm doing stem cells here soon, and then I'm going to see if surgery's needed. But yeah, man, I'd love to have one more match.
On a personal level, who would you like to share the ring with if you had that one last match?
Man, I'll be honest with you. I have no idea. I haven't even thought about it, not for 2 seconds. I was trying to shuffle it to where it was Sting, right, over the past couple of years and his retirement, and but I didn't want to take away from Sting and his whole deal, right? I have no business being anywhere near that because I don't deserve to be. It's all about him, and therefore he wasn't an option because of that.
So this is, who could Goldberg's last opponent be? I don't even know. I mean, you think about all of the greats that you'd like to see him fight, but a lot of them are over the hill and unable to really have a match like that. You think about a lot of the current modern day wrestlers that you would like to see him fight, but the problem is that WWE has, and it's always been this way, but WWE has always kind of been this thing where storylines matter so much. And so when you have somebody like Goldberg who who isn't wrestling currently, is, as he's saying, he's going in for these surgeries and he's not going to be on television, right? Regardless of where he's not going to be on television doing anything for a little bit of time. So trying to build a storyline that makes sense and is more than just like, yeah, this is his final match, I think is going to be a tough one. Like, who is it that you're like, who? It's different when you have a wrestler who is currently in the business, currently, on Raw or on SmackDown or whatever every night that it happens, on the pay per views, and then you create this big build up to that. Because what that does is you're like, oh, okay, that makes a ton of sense, right? That makes a ton of sense because he's fighting. Now this is for the end, and it's just a natural ending. Whereas when you have these kind of breaks in between, it makes it much harder to have that same, to pack that same punch. So I hope there comes a time here, hopefully sometime, on Goldberg's schedule when he wants it to, where there's just this perfect opportunity for Goldberg to kind of step out, get into a feud with someone, have a build and have it be a really big payoff for his last match. Hopefully that's what ends up happening. Not entirely sure, how that's going to work or who that should be, but you need that name to be big. You want that to be one of the bigger names in the business, and so we'll see if that ends up happening. So thank you all for watching. We will see you next time.